Hey Max, how's it going?
Really good. Having a great time here in San Salvador and adopting Bitcoin. I think it's a big success.
I always wanted to ask you, do you recall the exact day when you mentioned Bitcoin on the Keiser show first?
Well, it was definitely 2011, and the guest was John Matonis, and I forget what month that was, but that I could look it up easy enough.
What gave you the foresight? Like, I mean, you were ahead of the time, ahead of the curve.
Right. Well, I had been developed virtual currencies back in the mid '90s. I have a patent on a virtual currency, in fact. And so when I was introduced to Bitcoin, I realized this was like the next generation for virtual currencies and digital currencies. So I guess that's what had me mentally prepared to get into it.
Do you have the $10 bill?
A regular dollar?
It didn't fit in the ATM anyway. It didn't want to become Bitcoin. The bill came out all the time, so I think we could just
Oh my God.
destroy some $10 bills. Why do you always destroy $10 bills?
Well, because people like you asked me to. I mean, I wasn't going to do it, but you're saying, oh, can you rip up this money? And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. The thing is, it's $10, but if you go to eBay right now, if I were to sign these pieces of paper, you could go on eBay and get more than $10 for it. So it's actually, I'm making money for people.
And how excited are you for El Salvador to progress on the Bitcoin standards?
It's going really well. You know, the whole attitude of the country is great. The economy is becoming the fastest growing economy in the world. They're cleaning up the gangs, I think, because Bitcoin is intolerant of violence. So it's part of the Bitcoin revolution. And they got a really a multi-billion-dollar dividend by getting rid of the gangs. It's all filtering back into the economy. It has a multiplicity impact. So it's really, everything's working great.
Michael Saylor mentioned when he was speaking in Austria to hand over the torch. He's done educating. Do you believe him?
Well, he's done an incredible job during, when he came into Bitcoin. He was fully done his homework, and he has done an amazing job in educating, and it's really been a full-time job, and more than a full-time job. And I think that he might be feeling like where it's time to pass the torch. I haven't heard him say that, but he certainly he has earned the right to pass it on. I mean, he really is putting in such an incredible amount of work. So, but it's going to be tough. I thought that when he really laid out the case for Bitcoin adoption by corporations, that there would be a groundswell of more corporations doing what he did. I'm surprised that more did not. But now with the price the way it is, it's just going to be a little bit tougher slog for that adoption to happen. But nevertheless, ultimately, we know that it's the only path forward.
We hope you don't pass on the torch soon. Where do you gain all the energy to advocate for Bitcoin?
Where do I get the energy to advocate for Bitcoin? From the newbies, people who are just discovering Bitcoin, and you can tell that they get it right away, and so that's exciting. And I get a lot of renews my commitment to talk to people who are just finding it for the first time, because they keep it fresh, keep it real, and so I always enjoy meeting the plebs and the noobs and the people who are just coming into Bitcoin, because it challenges me to revisit why am I in Bitcoin, and so it's great.
Thank you so much for what you've done and your time now.
Well, I follow you guys, and you're doing an excellent job. We need more excellent journalists like BitcoinNews.com.
Thanks, Max. I appreciate it.